Good morning, Titans. Today is October 9th, 2024, and you're watching OlyTV.
Congratulations to both the Olympus Shakespeare team for their outstanding performance at the Utah Shakespeare Festival high school competition, and to the dance company who took second place in both ensemble and duo for the Oxford division. Also, starting this week is Oly's October Food Drive. This week is pasta and mac and cheese, so put your donation in your grade's bin in the Commons to help your grade win at the end of the month.
On October 24th, Utah Valley University will be hosting 2 conferences for the first-generation college students from 8:30 to 2 in the UVU ballroom. This is an opportunity to get college advice and tips for academic success and to learn more about UVU. See Nick Mason in the counseling office for registration details. Just a quick reminder, the Monster Mash dance on October 19th is an Olympus-only dance. No dates from other schools will be allowed. There are no exceptions.
Now on to sports with Ryan.
Thank you. On school sports, the sophomore football team is having a game tonight at Olympus. The cross-country team had regionals on Friday, and the girls' varsity team got first, and the boys' varsity team got third. Now here's a report on how the cross-country team did at Bob Furman Invitational. The cross-country team had some major successes on their trip to Idaho for the Bob Freeman Invitational, with over 4,000 athletes from all over the West. On the girls' elite side, Adria Favreau took second with a time of 17 minutes and 39 seconds, improving her time by 11.6 seconds from last year, and Sophia Jordan, who finished with a time of 19 minutes and 50 seconds. The varsity girls also raced well, with Audrey Edwards getting a time of 21 minutes and 10 seconds, and Evelyn Clayton, who finished with a time of 22 minutes and 13 seconds. JV girls also did well, with Olympus's first-place runner, Flora Boynton, who finished with a time of 24 minutes and 52 seconds. On the boys' side, Will Towers achieved a personal best of 60 minutes and 25 seconds, and Finn Rutledge achieved a time of 16 minutes and 41 seconds, improving his time by over 50 seconds from last year's race. The varsity boys raced well, with Carter Adams getting a time of 17 minutes and 49 seconds, and Eddie Wall getting a time of 17 minutes and 53 seconds, improving by 27 seconds from last year. JV boys did well, with the first runner from Olympus being Logan Pugh with a time of 19 minutes and 37 seconds. Some shout-outs were the JV girls being Vivian Meyer, who did very well despite being injured. I had some questions, so I went to ask the coach. What were your strategies on the last meet?
The strategies going in kind of evolved a little bit over the day because it went from being cool and good weather for racing in the morning to being really hot by the mid-afternoon. The later races, which were the JV races, we really emphasized pacing and not going above your abilities, because in that kind of heat it really can hurt you.
How did the athletes prepare in the days leading up to the race, and how do you think that preparation paid off?
You know, the days leading up to a race, we usually emphasize coming in rested, because you really can't improve your fitness in 2 or 3 days. So in the 2 or 3 days before a race, the last thing you want to do is try to really push yourself hard to get a little fitter, because you end up just getting more tired for that race.
After the race, how did you tell athletes to recover?
The way we cooled down was very similar to how we cool down from every meet. As quickly as possible after the race is over, the athletes switch out of the racing spikes into training shoes and do an easy, let's say, jog to run, just to flush their legs of all the lactic acid. It helps them be less sore the next day and recover more quickly.
What has been your main focus recently?
You know, the main focus for the whole season, honestly, has been to grow the team. I started with the team last year. Our numbers are about the same. We have about 60 athletes on the team between the boys and the girls teams. But we have way more committed athletes, I feel like, this year.
Now here's our Now here's a report on Miles about Cam Rising injury saga.
Dating back to 2020, Utah quarterback Cameron Rising has sustained an extreme amount of injuries. In the first game back from the COVID shutdown, Rising attempted just 6 passes, completing 3 of them before going down with a shoulder injury, which kept him out of the remainder of the year. To begin the 2021 season, Cam was the second-string quarterback behind Charlie Brewer. It remained that way until Brewer was benched halfway through Game 3 versus SDSU. From there, Rising thrived in the new offense after a 1-2 start. Rising led Utah to a 9-3 record and a Pac-12 championship, punching their ticket to the Rose Bowl versus Ohio State. In an offensive explosion, both teams scored over 40 points, but in the fourth quarter, Cam went down with a concussion, sidelining him for the remainder of the game. Next year, he was back in action, leading Utah to the Rose Bowl again and a second straight Pac-12 championship. But every Utah fan's worst nightmares came true. Cam blew out his knee, and he was expected to play for the 2023 season, but just wasn't at the point where he could. Utah had a down year with an 8-5 record, led by pig farmer Bryson Barnes at quarterback. Rising gets his medical red shirt, allowing him to play again in 2024. This season looked like to be one of the best in Utah football history, until Cam Rising got hurt again. In Week 2 versus Baylor, a dirty hit was applied to Cam, sending him into a cooler, giving him a deep cut in his throwing hand. Cam hasn't played since then, and he's been listed as a game-time decision for the last 2 weeks. Cam Rising is essential to the success of this Utah football team, and in 2024, hopefully he can be back this Friday at Arizona State.
That's all, folks. Now back to the desk.
Thanks.
Now here's Cade with the weather.
On Wednesday, we expect sunny weather with a high of 82 and a low of 57. And on Thursday, we expect partly cloudy weather with a high of 81 and a low of 58. On Friday, yet again, we have partly cloudy weather with a high of 80 and a low of 58. On Saturday, we expect cloudy weather with a high of 79 and a low of 57. And on Sunday, it gets back to sunny weather with a high of 77 and a low of 56. And on Monday, we have sunny weather yet again with a high of 75 and a low of 54. And on Tuesday, it's the coldest of the week with a high of 71 and a low of 52. Now back to the desk with Colin and Rose.
Thank you.
Now to Talon with this week's report.
Year and a half has not been great for movies. Almost every single big movie bombed at the box office. Unless you were Godzilla Ryan Reynolds, it seemed like nothing could make money the past year and a half. Stuff you usually think would make money, like the 12 Marvel movies and the 900th Disney remake, didn't make money. But the R-rated 3-hour-long biopic about a guy that made a bomb made almost $1 billion. Barbie and Oppenheimer were memed to the ground. Well, who wouldn't when we got the cinematic masterpiece of a song? I'm just kidding, anywhere else I'd be 10. Every blockbuster in the past year and a half has either bombed or was The Flash. I don't look at the movie box office subreddit every 2 seconds because I have a life, but there are 2 reasons movies are bombing. 1. Movies are getting really expensive to make. 2. People are also getting really picky about what movies they see. Because, Jesus, I don't want to pay $50 for a drink and a large popcorn. On top of that, I don't want to buy a $20 ticket to go see some garbage movie. The pandemic also pushed a lot of stuff back, so there's a lot of big movies that came out in the same month. Like last year in March, we had John Wick 4, Shazam 2, 65, Creed 3, but also companies are so pushy to put things on streaming that Shazam 2 was put on streaming less than a month after it came out. People would rather wait for things to come to streaming than go see it in the theaters. Last year, no one was surprised that the Mario movie made $1 trillion at the box office. It destroyed a vampire movie starring Nicolas Cage. Like, who wouldn't go see Nicolas Cage play a vampire?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z!
But it also dominated Dungeons and Dragons, which was such a good movie as well. Guardians 3 made over $840 million, so people would go see a Marvel movie if it didn't look like complete crap. John Wick 4 made $1 for every person that died in that movie. The Meg 2 made so much money, I hate everyone that bought a ticket to that movie, so I also hate myself. The FNAF movie made bank since Blumhouse movies are made with 2 cents. Have you seen the movies they've been putting out this year? Spider-Verse also made bank, and honestly, nobody's surprised that made a lot of money. Rise of the Beast barely made back its budget, but made like 25 times that in toy sales, so who actually cares? The two highest grossing movies of this year are Disney movies, Deadpool and Wolverine and the unnecessary sequel to Inside Out. Godzilla x Kong also made bank this year, but the biggest box office bomb of this year so far is the Borderlands movie, which lost $198 million. And guess what? It only made $30 million at the box office. How do you make a movie so bad that it only makes $30 million? Well, those are just some of the box office successes and flops from last year and this year. Now back to you guys at the table.
Thank you, Talon, for that insight on box office successes and flops.
That's right, Rose, and thank you for watching. Subscribe to OlyTV and follow our Instagram. Have a terrific Wednesday, Titans.